So that was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and you might be wondering, why should we play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the banjo? And the point of this lesson really is not to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on the banjo. I'm just using Twinkle Twinkle Little Star as an illustration of how to play a simple melody in Scruggs style bluegrass banjo. So first we're just going to talk about the G major scale a little. Then I'm going to give you the simplest version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, just choosing the actual melody notes of the song. Then we're going to just play some simple bluegrass rolls, forward and backward rolls, and try to incorporate the melody. And then finally we're going to add some bluegrass ornamentation to the song, some slides, some hammer-ons, and it's going to make it sound a little more Scruggsy, a little more bluegrass. Okay, so let's start. First we're just going to go over the G scale. Okay, so our banjo is open, there's no capo, and the G scale. I'm just going to play the open G. Okay, so there's eight notes in the G major scale. I start on G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, and another way to think about it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 tones of the scale. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I'm just playing it as an open G scale. You can play it closed, but it's easiest here for this song. We're just going to play it open, which means I'm just using a few fingers here. Right? So the first note of the scale, open G. Second note of the scale is A at the second fret on the G string. Third note of the scale, open B. Fourth note of the scale, C. Fifth note of the scale could be the third fret here of the B string, or it could be the open D string. Then we go to E, second fret, fourth fret, F sharp, fifth fret, G. Okay, so now let's do Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, just using those notes. And there's only 6 notes in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So it's going to go 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. Okay, and now you see why I chose Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The melody is very easy. 1, 1, you jump up to the 5, then to the 6, then to the 5, and then it's just a descending scale. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2. Right? Another way of thinking that is with the notes. Right? Instead of 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, it would be D, D, C, C, B, B, A. Right? So we've just got to keep in mind the notes of the scale. Remember that G scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's a simple melody. Okay, so now we've got the melody down. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. One more time. Okay, but we don't want to play that. That's not bluegrass banjo. That's a good starting point, but it's not where we want to be. So then let's incorporate some of the rolls. All right. So I presume you know a forward roll and you know a backwards roll. And the point here isn't to play it exactly the way I'm playing it. The point is to try to get those same melody notes in a forwards roll and in a backwards roll and in about the right spot. And that's one of the neat things about bluegrass banjo is if the melody's not exactly in the right spot, it's okay. And in fact, it kind of can give it a little syncopation, which gives it a unique sound on banjo, as opposed to, say, played on another instrument. So let's think about that. We start on the G note, right? So let's find a G roll. Okay, so. Alright, it's just a simple G roll, but we're getting that G melody. That's a forward roll. Okay, so I've got the forward roll getting the G note, then I need a backward roll to get that D note, right? So the first measure was a forward roll starting on the G note. The second measure was a backward roll starting on the D note, which is the note of the melody, right? D, D, or G, G, D, D. So I need to get it. Okay, the next melody note is going to be the sixth tone of the scale, which is an E, the second fret on the D string. And what I'm doing there is I'm actually turning that into a C chord. So I'm playing the first, I'm playing my index finger on C and my ring finger on E. Okay, and all I did was a backwards roll, same roll. So we did forward roll, backward, and then I did another backwards roll on the D. And why am I doing those backward rolls there? Well, the melody note is on that top string. So I can't really do a forward roll with the melody note on the top string. So I'm going to need to do a backward roll just to get that melody note in the right spot. So that, again, that sounded like... Okay, so now we're at the part of the melody where we need to get the fourth tone of the scale. And I can do that with a forward roll. I can either start with my thumb or my index finger. Okay, so that was a forward roll beginning on the melody note of each measure. So we started with C, melody note there, then B, then A, repeat, then we're going to go back to the beginning, right? We got to get the G note, so that's going to be a forward roll starting on the G note. Okay, so we just repeated some of the same phrases. And so again, that's one of the reasons Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is so good for this illustration. There's a lot of repetition, and there's just those 6 notes of the scale. And they mostly are descending notes of the scale after we get that fifth interval at the beginning. Okay, so that's all good, but that you still wouldn't want to play that. That still would not be a very bluegrass sounding version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Or imagine if you were playing another melody, it would just be a very basic version, okay? But we want to spice it up a little and make it sound like bluegrass, make it sound like Earl Scruggs would play it. Okay, so how do we do that? All right, so now we take some of those same ideas, but we add some slides into those positions. So how do we get how would we get a bluegrass sounding G note? All right, well, we can still start there, but instead of playing just an open roll, we could play. So I'm starting with a forward roll, but instead of just continuing a basic forward roll, I do a 2 to 5 slide. So I'm sliding from the 2nd fret up to the 5th fret of the low D string. Okay, so that would start like this. Okay, so we started with the G. We needed to get that G melody note in the first measure. Now we need to get that D note. And here what I'm doing is I'm going up to the D string, and then I'm getting a hammer-on. So that hammer-on, that 2-3 hammer-on, is a classic Scruggs style sound. Scruggs in Foggy Mountain Breakdown might have played it like this. So we could do it that way. There's options, but I tend to do it like this. Just a simple version. So I was playing the open D string. I played my forward roll of the G measure. And then I played an open D and then that 2-3 hammer-on to get us another D note. And that's just a forward roll. But now we do need to get that E note. And the only way we're going to get that E note, it's found here in the C chord again. And we're going to do the same thing we did in the simple version, just a backwards roll on that E string in that C position. See that? And then we'll resolve it back to a D. And we can do that same 2-3 hammer-on again. Now we need to start that descending portion where we go 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, right? Okay, so what did I do there? There we just spiced it up a little with a hammer-on. So instead of just playing that straightforward version where we just hold down the C string, we hammer it down. We hammer it on. Hear the hammer-on? Okay, so then what did I do for the next note there, the B note? Well, in the simple version, I just played it on open B with a forward roll. But on this, I'm playing. So I added a little slide there, a 2 to 4 slide. And why does that work? That works because we're getting an A note up to the B. So we're getting a slide back up to the B. So it just adds a little color. And then I just landed back on the A string. You could hammer on too. Okay, and then I just played it all the way through since we were just repeating. So again, that part where we're descending, and then I added a little ending there. We just went into that F-shaped position of a G chord. So that's it. That's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's a simple lesson. It's really for beginning banjo players who maybe have mastered the forward roll, but are still figuring out, how do I make a melody? How do I make a bluegrass sounding melody out of just a simple melody? Because you can, of course, learn by reading tablature, but eventually you're going to want to be able to play your own solos and come up with your own ideas. And practicing on a simple melody like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is a good way to get started. So I hope you enjoy the lesson. Thanks. Bye.